You never know who you're going to meet when I have these events. And at our last golf outing with the Lake Magdalene Dads unit, I happened to meet Shawn. And her family has a little history with the golf in this area.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Shawn McNally-Plastic. I grew up here, and my father was here as well, and my grandfather, and my second father. But I'm going to read you a few things. My mentor, Babe Zaharias. George and Babe Zaharias had recently bought Forest Hills Country Club, renaming it the Tampa Golf and Country Club. When I went to work there in the golf shop at the age of 15, meeting the world's greatest women athletes, Babe became my surrogate mother in many aspects. Due to a divorce in my family, my mom and younger brother moved to California. Since Babe and George were unable to have children, I became Junior. It was like being adopted into the family. Babe and a club member saw that I received a golf walk-on partial scholarship for the 1952-1953 school year of the University of Florida, where Doug Sanders was my roommate. Having Babe and George in my life was God's way of blessing me and directing my life into the world of golf with its amazing people and places. Babe's winning of the 1951 Tampa Women's Golf Open at Palmacia Country Club was a huge success for Tampa and the recently formed LPGA. In the tournament, Babe played with her customized Wilson Sporting Goods golf set, a rare set now on display. Caddying for Babe and seeing all of her fans rooting for their new Tampa resident for me was like winning in the lotto. A picture of Babe with the Greyhounds behind 18th green at Tampa Golf and Country Club. This was a promotion for Tampa's Greyhound dog track and George and Babe Zaharias' new purchase of the renovated golf course. In 1952, at Tampa's Golf and Country Club, Babe broke the professional women's record and tied the men's record by shooting 64, even though she hit a ball in the water on the par 5 hole. Ironically, the club she used was a 4-wood that didn't quite clear the huge oak tree guarding the right corner of the watery grave. Babe and I played her last 9 holes of golf on Thanksgiving Day in 1955 at Tampa Golf and Country Club. Memories of what Babe and Big George taught me are still ingrained and are used daily. So now I would like to introduce my second father, my godfather, Hal Shaw.
Just a few words. Few words to thank all of you that showed up, and looking forward to another episode, because there's no way I can do this in 10 minutes. No way. We have decided between Shawn and Beverly to break this up into 5 episodes, that you would get the 5 years that I was spent in Babe's tutorage, her and George's direction in my life, because they became everything to me. And they never called me by my name. It was always Junior. Junior, get the shag bag. Junior, get the golf clubs. Junior, do this. Junior, do that. I wonder why God left me here all this time. So I get to celebrate, along with everybody else, 100 years of this particular piece of property. Now, I have to give you a little bit of history, but I'm not going to give you everything because, as Zig Ziglar used to say, who was a motivational speaker, he said, sell them the sizzle, not the steak, okay? So that's what you're going to get. This piece of property was purchased by some land developers, and all it had on it was orange groves and beef cattle that roamed this property. So when they decided to build the golf course, the main thing in 1926 was to sell as many lots as they could on the golf course. When you teed off a number one, you didn't see the clubhouse until you finished on number 18. This was a continuous route around through the countryside, and the lots were plotted out as many as they could get on those open 18 holes. And this golf course, if you never experienced playing a golf course that measured 7,192 yards, that was gigantic in the 20s to build a course like that. Now, the clubhouse, if you've ever been to the Ringling Museum, that museum depicts the world treasures that were in the clubhouse, as you noted as you saw the photos in the grill room. I couldn't get up early enough to get to work. It was outstanding to be at this clubhouse. There was never a dull moment. When Babe and George purchased this, I was working at a driving range, the only one in Tampa, on West Hillsborough. And that was all I knew about golf. I was a fisherman and a hunter at 12 years old when I took the job of picking up golf balls at this driving range. As God would have it, when Babe and George purchased the golf course, they needed a manager. And who did they come up with? Was my boss, Lloyd Dillard. And Lloyd, now Babe and George are still on the golf tour, and they hired him through another friend here in Tampa named Howard Madman Morris. Now, a lot of you won't be able to find this guy, but if you look deep enough, you will. And she took 4 holes on the backside for her 40-acre tract that she called the Lodge. And the Lodge was going to be much like the McDonald House. It was going to house children with physical and mental disabilities. They could come in, free of charge for their parents, and could spend the night as they learned what it felt like to hit a golf ball. That was her dream. Unfortunately, because of that feared cancer, knowing that she had so much time left, she packed into all of this what I call a miracle in 1954 to be able to win the Women's U.S. Open